So there's this whole topic having to do with acting. Look, it's incredibly important because this is the reason why actors have to do so many eccentric things in this business is because the business itself has failed the actor and the artist and the creative in every single aspect. There's no development process for actors to be able to get into the space of which they are needed to be able to do the, the performance or the films. Typically, I mean, actors have to argue with people or figure out different things to be able to manage, to be able to put their best forward. See, everybody expects the actor to be able to be like the line readers are in the industry. The line readers are basically able to perfect the ability of putting expressions in certain areas of the dialogue. They're able to um, put themselves in a way that has their voice intonation going up, and they have the expressions that they have at certain moments, and then they say that they're great actors, and they can even go and pay for all the marketing that they need to be able to claim that they're so fantastic and wonderful for them. And I'm happy, and there is a skill set that is involved with that, but it's not the skill set of authenticity. It's not the skill set of resonation with the audiences. It's the reason why most acting projects actually are memorable is because most advertising is 8, 10 times. Somebody sees the thing over and over and over and over in the advertising, and then people go, "Oh yeah, okay, I guess that's good." They're not really excited about the project. Now there are exceptions, but when we're looking to be able to create art, we don't have a platform within um, the creative community that fosters the ability to do art. So it's very interesting. I have been honest, and I will continue to be honest about some of the, to be frank, uncomfortable um, emotional elements of I've had to be able to do to be able to say yes. When I publish the emotional preparation book, my original book that I'm and different things, I had like literally it just kept climbing up and up. There's no way I could put it in one volume. And right now, what I did was I put 800, 150 emotions in 3 books for people to be able to realize that if they're going to go and work on a part with one emotion, they want to be able to work on the contrasting emotion so that they're not stuck in that element. And it gets into a huge debacle. But the whole debacle comes down to one thing. Look, it's not a thing about method versus any other technique. It's not an element of any anything other than this. There's no cultivation when we're dealing with artistic talent. We have everybody expecting us as actors and as talent to show up ready for our scenes. We don't know. I mean, some people get given entire parts that they're having to do, and they literally have had like 48 to 72 hours, and that's their big break within the industry. And the everything, but meanwhile, these talented people were absolutely completely overlooked by the rank and file of all of the producers. And I'm not attacking all producers, but I'm not attacking anybody, but I'm explaining the fact that there is a lack of consistency, and there has been, and that consistency with the ability for actors, real authentic acting, has gone out the window completely. There is very little of it left, and there's very little um, cultivation at the creating level that's able to cultivate it. So, knowing that, I have come up with all sorts of different solutions for this, and yet still, um, I'm working towards being able to implement those solutions. And I'm not afraid of the fact that, look, anybody who's trying to have authentic moments on stage or authentic moments within a film is means that they're going to have to be able to exercise their own talent at a visceral level. A visceral level means that you have to be able to activate your emotions, you know, full everything. If you're working with the emotion of anxiety, you're going to have to be able to figure out how to be able to activate your anxiety. If you're working at the level of elation where you've just won the lottery, well, guess what? You're going to have to feel that in a visceral level if you're going to be able to be authentic. So it's incredible how this is in such a need still today, where we have best communication available to the masses. Everyone's able to be able to communicate with everybody, and yet this is still a thing that's shrinking year by year, month by month. There is less authenticity happening in any kind of films. So acting training has to be able to cultivate the artist into having um, personal and professional growth. And this is something that we cannot expect that anybody in the industry is going to understand. They might, there will be people that understand it, but it's, we can't expect anybody to understand it because they're not involved in a way. If they're involved in the business, let's say they've been involved in the business for 50 years or even whatever, 20 years, they're going to be involved and they're going to say, well, we really saw that this one had this and they fell upon some spontaneity of authenticity and this and now I'm happy for them. That's wonderful. And they were hopefully able to have a spontaneous enough camera crew that was even able to capture it. But the thing is, we can't expect anything because we're at a juncture within the creative element where we are not able to actually rely and reliably be able to even rely on producers. This is the reason why I wrote the book, The Percentage. Look, for years, everybody has been cutting out the talent pool and not allowing them to even partake within the talent themselves. Look, I'm getting upset. So this is here's the reason about this. When you when if producers are listening, listen. I'm not upset with any one person. I'm describing an overall situation. The situation is ludicrous. Everybody's expecting the talent level to get better and better and better and better and better and better in the entire industry. Oh yeah, and or they'll try and come up with more clever ways to be able to describe, you know, a higher level of talent. And we've been able to do this and this and this. But yet the artists, the creatives, the actors aren't being able to get enough resources to be able to even completely develop themselves. And then it's an expectation, typically, when on professional sets, that we have to be able to have every line done with indentation, like voice indentation or expressions at certain points within the production. And this then gets into the whole structure of the fact that we are completely in a situation where improvisation is not a technique that many people have even studied ever well enough to be able to put that into film and full productions. See, look, every single emotion, the reason why is important. Every single thing is important. You've got to be able to do all of it. The reason why that it's incredibly important is because us as artists take on the brunt of life to be able, when we're working in art, to be able to explore all of the different variances of that emotional current, the emotion or the emotionality. When people ignore this, like, look, I have a project I'm working on. It's called Project 51. I'm way more American than I am Canadian, and that's what it is. I've lived there longer. I have been way more experiences, all of that. And the thing is, it's incredible if we work to the point where we are stuck, not able to figure out emotionally what is everything going on within the picture in the film. We can't approach topics like geopolitical topics. We can't approach topics of hard action films or even comedic satire. Comedic satire comes from the reality of a given situation. It comes from the seriousness of the reality of that given situation. So there's not going to be anything funny unless we're able to make fun of it. And we're able to make fun of it because we've been able to do the work within ourselves to emotionally be able to be lucid enough to be able to have flexibility and hopefully authenticity in our comedic value, or in our comedy, or improvisation of comedies. This matters. All of this makes a big difference. So when I'm talking and doing different things, when we're dealing with the topic of merging different countries or doing this, look, Europe, some of these countries over in Europe would never even, oh, they would have had such a problem if Europe didn't unite, because of the economics and all kinds of other situations, supply chains. There's conflicts going back with different stuff, going back all the way to genealogy, not only in England, but all kinds of other stuff all over Europe. There's all kinds of other disputes, and that's just life. And the thing is that because they were able to unite, they were able to have an ability to be able to keep themselves in a more sustainable environment. And that's that topic comes into the whole thing with the Project 51. It wouldn't have to necessarily be people lose their own country's name and their own country's abilities, but they formed a union. They they formed a union so that they could be able to hopefully provide better sustainability for everybody within that union. Now, at the same time, which is a conflict, I know, I also supported Brexit. I also said that I thought it was better that England wasn't part of it because I knew that there were some problems within that. But I also support the fact that Europe united. So it wasn't. So I know this is all part of us all being human. We'll have conflicting opinions sometimes within ourselves, even if it looks like they should be, and that's part of being an artist. You're literally working to be able to activate all of these different quagmires, and sometimes your opinions might change as you learn different things, and all of that's part of the journey of acting. So I hope that this makes some sense to people. I know that it makes a lot of sense, but I don't know if the right people will find the content. So anyway, so I'm Blake. Check out emotionalpreparation.com. I also have color coding fonts for reading. It kind of actually helps the ability for people to read faster. This is the reason why I've been trying to do it, is because the whole situation having to do with actors with line reading, and when they're reading, a lot of times they'll miss words and stuff, and color coding certain letters can make things faster. So anyway, thanks.